Hey, scrapbook friends, it's Nicole, and welcome to week 43 of Theme Park Thursday. This week we're still at the Animal Kingdom. We're still on the Maharajah Jungle Trek, and we're in the bird house, the bird room. I don't know what it's called. So I used the Birds and Blossoms paper, which is our most recent spring collection for this. Really like how it turned out. I had fun with it. However, because it does take me, a little while to film the video and then edit it and get it ready to upload, of course, I did this video right before Creative Memories released the new photo trimmer. And so I'm using the old photo trimmer, but I wanted to, make sure you guys know that this is my old beloved personal trimmer. It has served me so well. I really like this. If this is the trimmer that you have, it's still a great little tool. I don't want you to feel like this is now worthless, but I got to show you the new trimmer. Hopefully you saw my video on Monday showing it off, but just in case you didn't, let me show you this magical thing. So right now, I don't know like how long this is going to be available. Frankly, by the time this airs, this could be sold out. I have no idea what's going to happen. They promised us that they've got more coming, but right now you can get it only in a bundle with this cute rainbow dots bag. And let me open it up. But on August 26th, they're saying you'll be able to get just the trimmer if you don't care about the bag. But look how fun the bag is. It fits your 12-inch trimmer, your personal trimmer, and it fits the decorative trimmer. Somebody asked me about that. So if you have the decorative trimmer, lock those in place. But it'll also fit your 12-inch decorative trimmer. So all of your trimmers will be in here together in one handy carrying bag with a handle and a shoulder strap. But I want to show you this new trimmer. I want to compare it to the other trimmers that we have because I love it so much. I got to see a prototype of this trimmer when I went on the Creative Memories incentive trip to Mexico in April, and I saw it and I was so very excited. I have been requesting a bigger personal trimmer for so long, and that I said, oh, I love it so much, I want to kiss it. And then because it was funny and because I'm kind of a ham, I actually did kiss it in front of our vice president of product development who designed it. But you can see it's very much like this, our 12-inch trimmer. It's got the similar kind of aesthetic with the black lines on the white grid. It's the same width. I've been telling you all about that this was coming. But this has a little cutout groove on the bottom so they stack together. When you stack them, make sure you're lining up the blue edges. It doesn't work this way. It goes off the edge. But if you line up the blue edges, it stacks perfectly. I love it so much. Has the space underneath for your all-purpose scissors and your micro tip scissors. I don't know that this would work with other brands of scissors, but hopefully you have the Creative Memory scissors anyway, and how nice to have them all tucked in here together. But I love that it's 6.5 by 9. It has a little arm that folds out. So you could, if you even wanted to trim the 8-inch side off an 8 by 10 photo, you can trim 8.5 by 11 paper. It's fantastic. So starting with next week's video, and actually I think my Savvy Scrapbookers video will be the next video that you see from me. I will absolutely be using this trimmer from now on because I just love it so much. So this is the new photo trimmer. I have it. I got it right after I finished creating this and filming this video. So, timing is always an adventure for things like this. But you'll be seeing lots more of this trimmer. If it sells out before you see this, it'll be back. It's going to be permanent to our line. So you don't have to worry if you don't get it the first day, the first week. I don't know what's happening with the bag. That's like a early bird special to get the bag. But if there's enough positive feedback on it, we'll see it again. So you won't get to see this again till next week. But you'll get to see all the rest of our You Can Talk to Birds Maharajah Trek birdhouse video. Just stay tuned for that. So here are my pictures from the little birdhouse at the Maharajah Jungle Trek. I did go ahead and sort through these before starting the video. I got a phone call right as I was about to start filming, and so it, of course, threw me off. And anyway, I figure you don't mind. I just went through and took out all the duplicates. You guys know how to do that. You don't need to watch that as part of my process. And I gotta say, I'm not super excited about this this layout. I don't know why. Maybe because they're just birds, but it's funny. We have a funny story. My daughter Katie said, "Oh, I'm really good at identifying birds," and so I'm like, "Oh yeah, really?" She's like, "Yeah, okay. See that one? Yeah, that's a bird." And then she pointed another one. That's a bird. Oh, and I'm pretty sure that one's a bird. Anyway, so it's become like a family joke. So I want to write that in there because this is kind of where it started. These are going to be easy to crop. I probably, I don't know, I didn't count. I'm not going to count for you, 12 or 13. So I think I'm going to pull out my laptop again and see what we can find on Pinterest. So I went to my own boards and I typed in 11 for the search because I have this one board that's 11 plus scrapbook sketches. I guess I could zoom down a little bit. Let's see. I know it's kind of crazy that I'm sure there's a way I could do this and just merge it into the video, but I don't know what that is. This is that one that we looked at last week that has the little diamonds. That's kind of cute. I don't think that that's going to work for this though. Kind of like that one. I like this one, which is all the little pieces. That's kind of fun. I could do right here instead of circles. I mean, I could do the circles. I also have the songbirds border punch. This might actually work. One thing that happens though when I'm doing this is that I get stuck at the ones at the top, and so these ones at the bottom I never look at. So let's scroll down and look at what stuff I pinned, years ago. That one's kind of cute. A lot of wasted space. That one's cute too. I like this with the different, with the white space right there. It has a good space for journaling. It's pretty simple. It looks like a digital. Oh yeah, Sweet Shop Designs full service digital scrapbooking. Oh, now I'm all the way at the top again. All right, so I'm going to scroll through here, see what I can find, and then once I choose something, I'll come back and let you guys know what that is. Okay, so after all that, I scrolled through all of them. Turns out I have a bunch of these that are duplicates. I think I'm going to do something like this, with the background paper with a border around it, and then the border across the top. Maybe I'll do 2 colors, and then I'm just going to cut the pictures small and do some journaling. And just kind of, I don't know if I'm going to map them. We'll see. Okay, so then the next thing I got to figure out is what paper to use. I've been using a lot of the tropical stuff because it is the animal kingdom, but we do have the birds and blossoms paper. I don't actually know how much of that I've got left. I've used it for a couple projects, but I think I'm going to pull that one out and then see what else I have that as I'm flipping through kind of makes me feel like it'll work with these pictures and with that layout. Okay, so here's birds and blossoms. It's got the birds. That might be really good. The twigs. I also pulled out Cue the Blue just because a lot of these birds are blue, and Endless Meadows, which was their spring from a couple years ago. But I don't have any stickers or anything for this one. I don't think Cue the Blue really had stickers. So I think let's try and use birds and blossoms. This is still a current paper pack, but it's from beginning of the year, I think. I do like some of this. I really like the idea of being able to use the birdhouse. Early bird gets the worm. And I have 2 because I used it for the Savvy Scrapbookers, so. There's a little bit of like orange in it. There's a little orange birdhouse, so I could use some of the orange. Let's see what I've got. I've got all this paper with the birds in the and the bird nests, which I don't really like. It's super busy, but maybe I could use that like across the top. Oh, and then this little robin egg across the bottom. Apparently I got 3 pieces of this, but I like the orange too. Could I do the orange with the birdhouses across the top? Maybe. And the blue is kind of raindroppy. I don't think I want the blue. It's always interesting to me to go back through when I've used most of a paper pack, and especially one where like this one I bought it twice, obviously, and how what pieces I didn't end up using. So for me it would be the butterflies and the birds. I think I'm gonna do this, and then maybe the green. I don't have a full page of this. But this, I don't know if this would work. Oh, the blue could work for the birds. Look at that. I got that piece. I could punch my birds out of this blue. I'm going to just leave that green out just in case. All right. So that layout that I did, I want to keep this piece whole. But I think I'm going to crop these down and see kind of what I can do. This one I want to keep big. No, this one. Because I've got the 2 birds. And this one kind of has 2 birds. So I might be doing a few bigger ones and some smaller ones just to kind of see. I think this is these same 2 birds, but his head is completely turned away. So maybe I don't want that one. I think this is the bird that Katie's looking at right here. Hey, I can identify birds. And that's also that one. So let's do some trimming. So here's my trimmer. This one just kind of shows the net that keeps the birds in. So I kind of want to keep that one whole, that one whole. It looks like the same bird. And I don't think that's the same bird. Maybe it is. This one I can definitely trim. And of course you don't have to trim pictures ever, but want to fit a lot on a page, it makes it easier if you can trim them down. And I am trying to just kind of keep them like so they're similar in size. So like that one was 2.5 by 3.5, and so this one will be 3.5 by 2.5. Of course, the first number being, the width and then the height. 3.5 by 2.5. Versus 2.5 by 3.5, which is the same. This little guy I think will be, maybe I'll try and stick with as many as I can that are that 3.5 by 2.5. Let me put that one that way. My laptop has gone to sleep. I just looked over my shoulder to see if I could see if most of the pictures were the same size. Okay, this one's going to be a little bit tricky because I can't cut it at 2.5 because I would chop off his feathers. So he's going to be 3.5 by 3. I want to cut that one. This is just a little statue out front. Well, years ago when we went to Disney, we were joking that this was my sister's husband because they had four daughters. So, well, I always think of him. Even though I don't know that, I think they have been back to Disney, but nobody in my family, or your family probably, is quite as much of a Disney nut as I am. Gone a bunch of times. Okay, this one, maybe I'll keep big. This one maybe I'll trim a little. Oh, I like the flower. I might keep that one big. I really like this picture. I think it's kind of dramatic, and I'm not going to cut it yet. I've had some bad experiences, as you guys know, where I've cut and then regretted it. I'm going to cut this leaf off, or it's the roof or something. It's just kind of in the way. I feel like it drew my eye. I kept thinking it was a bird, and it is not a bird. All right, one more. Oh, that's kind of interesting. They're very silhouetted in there, so we'll do this one at 2.5. No, it's like 3.5. Okay, this one I think is going to stay whole for now. All right. So let's see, if I were to do this, I just don't know if I can make this bird paper work. It's so busy. I don't think the birds are going to show up on it. Let me punch the birds. And we've had 2 bird punches. This one was called Songbirds. It's from a couple of years ago. And then there's one called Cardinals. I like the Songbirds better. The Cardinals is a little bit symmetrical. And I like the 3 birds better than 2 birds. And it's funny because, you know, punch like this, sometimes when they come out, I'm like, what am I ever going to need bird punch for? I don't have any pictures of birds. Well, apparently, if you go to Disney, you have pictures of birds. Oh, that didn't quite cut all the way. All right, so this is going to give me a chance. Oh, yeah, see, that doesn't show up. Maybe I need to do like a thing of birds and then a stripe of the birds and then these on top, because this does not show up very well on top of the birds. It just totally gets lost, the bird print. This is super busy. So now I can show you what to do if you don't have enough paper for your punch. And hopefully many of you have seen me do this already, but I'm just going to take a Post-it note and I'm going to line it up so that the edge of the Post-it note is at the edge of the paper. And I always start on this side, so that's the side I put it on, because otherwise when you put it in here, you can't see to line it up with the black line. All right, it's too short. But by putting the Post-it note on, then I can line that up, so that makes me know that I'm lining up in the right spot. Uh-oh. Now it's a little tangled. Oh, they got caught. It's kind of rainy here today, so when it's humid, I do notice that my punches don't work quite as well. All right, I grabbed my multi-purpose tool. See if that will help me untangle this guy. See where it's catching. All right, I got that out. Yeah, it just didn't cut very cleanly, did it? All right, we'll try this again. Now it's working better. I don't know, maybe I didn't push it like I meant it. You can always take like a piece of typing paper, printer paper. We call it typing paper anymore. Just regular paper or a piece of scratch paper, and put it behind. And for some reason, when you punch through 2 layers, it just seems to work better. Just gonna flick that one off. Okay, this is not the cleanest cut I've ever had, but it's gonna be all right. So I think, yes, that maybe what I'm gonna do, I might not even use those birds. I think I'm gonna put this across the top. Maybe I will use just a row of these birds. Oh, let's see here. I used that blue, so it makes it a little harder if I wanted to mat something with it. I might need to cut this down. So now I've got more pictures than I have space for. maybe I do need, I don't really care about, I mean, they're on opposite sides, so I could just do one that's just that little duck. He looks a little bit, I don't know, a little bit better. And this one I could cut down, because I want them to be that kind of the focus. I think I'm going to map this photo. Although now that I'm doing this, it's feeling a lot like last week's layout with the bats, isn't it? With the little tiny sized critters. Maybe trim that skinnier and do this one smaller. Oh, this is the one I thought I wanted to leave in, but maybe I won't leave that in. Maybe I'll put this one right there. This one, I can't even see the bird. Might be there. I'm not going to use that. Okay, but if I do this like this, and cut these two smaller. This guy's pretty. Not really much of a, I mean, a bird fan. I'm not anti-birds, but I don't know anything really about birds, but. I like this one because it's got their nest in it. Maybe I put the, I don't know, I think it needs to be across the top. So let's find a ruler and see. I mean, the birds are going in this direction here. And then they go down here, and this is a different bird. I kind of want these, the birds and the nest, which is about a 2-inch cut. If I do another, but I want it to be the same, kind of on both sides, and that's kind of a tricky thing sometimes, trying to duplicate it so you get the same. I actually think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut right here along the bottom of this bird nest, with the robin in it. I think I'm going to find that line right at the bottom of that bird nest, which is clear down here too. Not really what I don't really want to waste a lot of paper, but. And then find it here again. Well, do I want to do the guys in the other direction? I guess it's, I mean, I could do it that way. So I'm facing each other. I did that here, did it at the bottom of that bird's nest again. This is like 1 7/8 maybe. Oh, it's kind of a not even on a measurement. It's a little bit off the center, so I'd have to trim this a little shy of 1 7/8. I went right through the butterfly, so maybe that's right. Ha! So then I'll put the birds this way and that way. Yeah, I'm not loving this. I'm not loving it much at all. But I really do want to tell that story, so I really want to put the birds on. Because it would have been nice if I would have then reversed the punching. I think I'm going to do this one over here because that's where it's got kind of the bad side. maybe I'll put a strip of the brown above it. Oh, maybe I'll mat it on the brown so that the bird, you know, the little tails of the bird don't have to compete with that busy pattern. All right, so that was 1 7/8, and I want to be able to put this right on here. And then this, I don't want to cover up those birds. I'm going to cut this at 2.5, which is of course the back side of this, but this is this. Kind of this robin's egg. Although I guess robin's eggs are blue, aren't they? We used to have a cardstock called Robin's Egg Blue. So if I put this on here, I won't center it because I want there to be enough space to put this. I guess I could center it and then just set this on top instead of layering it. No, I think I'll do it like that. So I'll put this about, that's like 3/16. It's not quite 1/4 inch. Let's leave this guy on here. So I haven't stuck this down yet. All right, and then I'll line up the other one. So I think I can already tell on this one that the edge is going to need some kind of a border treatment, because you know how I am. Kind of like that blue. Wouldn't mind doing something with that blue. Let these birds go that way. And these birds go that way. I'm not loving the way the orange is kind of darker right here. I might have to rotate my base paper before I stick things down. I definitely want to mat this. I think this is okay, actually. I don't think I need anything else more around the edge. Do I need something along the bottom? Does it make it feel too heavy at the top? Maybe I just move these all down a little bit. I think I'm liking that. That's okay. I have a third one. Just those two. I'm gonna have to do something about. Part of me wants to say I'm really good at identifying birds, but that's kind of a long title. This one I'm gonna have to trim. I like this little pink flower, so I don't really want to cut it off, but that. It's got a bird right there too. All right, 2.5 by, oh, we'll do 2.5 by 4, because this has some bigger. maybe if I matte this in blue, and I have some more of that blue paper. I wonder if I have a cut piece. That would really be nice if I didn't have to cut. Aha, look. Might be perfect. Bam! Look at that. Exactly what I needed. Usually with scraps of paper, if it's big enough to mat a photo, and I can always trim this photo down if I want it to have a little bit bigger mat, although I kind of like that little watered thing. I could trim it that way, just a smidge if I want. If it's too much smaller, like if it's this size, I usually will not always keep it unless I absolutely love the paper. All right. I do think I need something. Maybe I need a little squiggly line, which I've been doing quite a bit, I think, and I need to journal. Maybe this can go up on here a little bit. It's kind of touching. But then I feel like I need to move the whole thing down. And leave this space at the top. And that way I won't feel like I need to put the title on here. Because I was kind of thinking maybe I put the title on the border, but it's too busy. But if I pull all these down off it, except for maybe that one and a couple little corners, I think that could work. I think I'm going to trim just a hair off of this, like a 1/8 of an inch. Just give me a little bit bigger mat. Oh yeah, that's better. And I think I will cover that up a little bit, but pull these down. So that's kind of like we're kind of doing a arch shape. And hook this one down here, and this one over here. All right, I'm liking this. I'm liking this. So I think what I need to do first is put these down, and they are, so that's the 0. The bottom of it is like 5 inches from the top of the layout. I hope I can remember where I put that. I'm actually so proud of myself for using this paper, which I just don't like. All right, my grid is going to help me count 5 inches down. All right, and then I need to put this on. I'll grab my silicone mat. All right, I really like this a lot. So this was a Advisor Join gift for a while. It was a promo. But if you don't have the Creative Memories one, like I don't really need any of these grids. I mean, it's fine, they're pretty, but I have that on my 13-inch mat. So you can just buy silicone baking mats. I think you can even buy them at like the Dollar Tree, but I know you can buy them on Amazon, and just cut them up. You don't need 12 inches. You just need a little section, like 3 or 4 inches wide. But it is nice to have it be at least 12 inches long, so you don't have to constantly be moving it, if you can do that. All right, so those are those birds. And before I stick these things on this side down, I think I'm going to try, remember how I had this. I think this guy was underneath. Like that. All right, does that look right? I don't want to go up too high because I want that one to be like the focal point, and I think by making it the highest, that will be helpful. And I could go off the edge and then trim the pieces off, but I don't think I want to. I think I want to stay within the page. I'm going to tuck that behind. This is very busy with all these tree branches. Yeah, I like that we moved it down a little bit. It's going to give me a place up there. Maybe I will put, I'm really good at identifying birds as my title because it was funny. Now we'll stick these down. And rather than using the ruler this time, just in case my measuring was a smidge off, I'm just going to position it with the other one. Oh, this is my chance if I want to adjust this, the flow of this at all. But maybe I don't care. This is the same. You can see there's those dots up there, so I kind of don't want that. I don't like to have it be, we'll do it like that. Yeah, we'll have the butterflies upside down on one side. Nobody's ever going to know. It doesn't exactly line up, but it's close. And then I'm just putting the top of this, you know, the little wire that they're sitting on, I'm aligning it with the top of the little border strip. And I could have just sat it on top, but because I cut the top piece extra, that's why I did it, so I could have that just sit on there, line right up. Okay, and then this one, I want him kind of right there. Okay. I think that we should be soon done with all of these animal pictures, which I will not be sorry about. I feel like they've kind of been all a lot the same. I don't know what comes next. Okay, the next one we have is the kite show. That was a short-lived little afternoon show that they did out in the outdoor amphitheater. They've got this beautiful amphitheater at, oh, maybe I want that right there, at Animal Kingdom. But they don't really do anything with it. They've had like a couple of nighttime shows, and they've done a few things, but mostly it just sits there baking in the hot sun. But we managed to go to some of their, some of the things they've done there. One of them was that kite show. Oh, we have the kite punch. Ooh, maybe I could use the kite punch. I haven't used that for anything yet, I don't think. All right. So here's the layout. What do we think? Does it need some kind of I'm thinking about a skinny blue line that just goes kind of down and around, or even just a strip of that blue across the bottom. I'd have to see if I have another piece, which I could do the brown along the bottom maybe. I feel like it needs something at the bottom. I do like that stripe, but I don't have enough of it. Apparently that's what I've used the most. Maybe I will do this like little stripe of this brown just at the bottom. I think I'll do 1/4 of an inch. I think I'm gonna do 3/8 of an inch, which is, nope, that's more than 1/2 inch. That's 5/8. Okay, that's 1/4. That's 3/8 right here on the CM trimmer. This very first mark right here, because this is the 1/4 inch line ish. No, this is the 1/4 inch line, and so this first little mark right before the 1/2 inch would be the 3/8 inch. So I'm just going to do a 3/8 of an inch line. I don't know that I've ever cut a 3/8 inch line. It's actually a nice width. It's not as much as a 1/2 inch and not as little as a not as little as a 1/4 inch. Okay, I'm gonna put that right along the bottom. Yeah, I don't know if I needed that, but I think I like having it a little bit of, just kind of makes a little frame for that. And I think I'm gonna do the Sachi trick. You know, if you follow Sachi's Creative Mind on YouTube, she does some cool things. She's also a content contributor for the blog, but she showed me how to, if you're doing two pieces, I guess these would fit, but I'm just gonna put them up next to each other and kind of run my adhesive over both of them at the same time just to save time. Works a lot. It's a lot more useful when you're trying to do a 1/8 of an inch. Maybe I want to leave a little gap underneath too, instead of putting it all the way along. I think I am going to leave just a little hair at the bottom, not have it sitting all the way down. And I don't know why. I don't know why I decided that I wanted to do that. Sometimes people ask me, what made you make that choice? And I don't know. Just felt like it would look, just because we have the orange at the top and this, we also have orange at the bottom. I'm gonna have to lift up this little picture. Okay. Yeah, I like the little brown stripe at the bottom. And I would not be opposed to a little blue stripe also at the bottom, but I don't have another piece of blue that's a scrap, and I don't really want to cut into one of my whole pieces, because someday if I have another rain page, this is going to be great for that. So I don't think I'm going to cut into that. I'll just leave it right there. Is it too silly? Do I ever care if it's too silly for me to say I'm really good at, oh, you know what I should do You Can Talk to Birds. There's a Broadway musical called Into the Woods. When Katie was little, we had it on VHS, and it was her favorite. She watched it like every week. She says she watched it every week for like 5 years. But there's a line in there where Little Red Riding Hood says to Cinderella, "You can talk to birds," and It's one of our favorites. But she doesn't talk to birds. She identifies birds. But I think I'm going to do it anyway. I think I'm going to do You Can Talk to Birds. Let's see if I have any blue stickers left. And not only do I have them, but are they the right blue? They might be too much of a royal blue. Oh no, I think they'll be all right. And I think I can put it over here. You Can Talk to Birds. I'll put little quotation marks around it. Oh, white ones jumped in there. And I think I'll mix upper and lowercase. And I think they need to be straight because that line is straight. So I'm going to use my ruler. I might even put it under here, on here, just to keep it from sticking. So I will do that and probably snip this part out and then just show you after it's stuck down. Okay, so maybe it has been a little while since I've shown this technique, so I'm going to go ahead and just show you how I do this. I use the ruler to position my sticker letters just so that I know that it's going to fit. So now I know this is going to fit across, and then I'm going to figure out where I want this. Right here. But this is now, I put this on the 1/4 inch line. So my letters are resting on the 1/4 inch line. So I need to move it down. And if I'm on my grid right here, right now I'm kind of floating in between. So I think I'm going to put it on this grid line, which is at 1, 2, 3, 4.5 inches down. And I need to leave a little bit of extra space to put my quotation marks, but not too much. I'm just going to bump these up against the edge of my, against the edge of my ruler. Because I lined up with the grid line though, that's going to help me make sure that I stay straight, even if I do something like that. So I'm just butting it up against the edge of the ruler. It's a little tricky because it's, it wants to slide underneath because of these birds. So this is hard if you have like layered embellishments, but they're all right here. I know they're going to fit. I don't have to worry about, you know, adjusting the position or scooting them closer together because I've already done the spacing. All right, so that's all I'm doing right here, and I'll finish this up without you having to watch, but I just wanted to show in case you haven't seen me do this technique. I think I haven't done it since for a while. And right here, because I scooted this one over, this is feeling a little close, so I'm going to just go ahead and scoot them down a smidge. And it's working okay. But it's just helping me to get my sticker letters straight, which is, I know, something that people ask me about often. Like, how do you get your sticker letters on straight? And that one's not straight. So I'm going to come back in a second and straighten it up. I did want to point out that Creative Memories did come out with what they call a Titletopia just last week. Anyway, with the school stuff, but they only have a wavy one. But it works basically the same concept, except it's so thin that you can position your sticker letters on it and then you just stick them down. And I guess I could theoretically have done that, stuck them down and then just slid this off, but I find it easier to do it this way. And I think that one's a little crooked. Okay. So I've got two. I'm gonna put 2 question marks. I want them. Actually, for this one, I think I need my multi-purpose tool because it's so tiny. And I'm just going to now line this up by lining it up against the letters. And then I'll put this down. All right, there's my You Can Talk to Birds. I'll find the eye. And then I'll find the little, I've apparently used the quotation marks and I need 4 of them. And there are not 4 of them because one of them's gonna be upside down. Drat, I must have used it as a comma. I really wanted to put the quotation marks. What could I do? What if I did the letter V and just cut it? It looks too much like the edge of the Y. Because this is what the quotation marks will look like. But I guess you have to do them like this, and I'm not a big fan of the upside down quotation mark thing. Plus, I didn't quite leave enough room for it. Drat. I thought I left plenty of room for the quotation marks. All right. I might need to scooch that guy over just a smidge. Sorry, little letter V, that I wasted you. If I just scoot these three over just a half a hair. Rip the paper. Maybe I won't be able to. Shouldn't have stuck them down. If you don't press them all the way down, you have a little bit of wiggle room, but oh no. Not really any wiggle room right here. Rat. And now I've just ruined it, the whole thing. I gotta fix that somehow. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go behind here and snip out a little piece of this orange. And I think I can just stick it on like that. I think it's close enough in color. I'm going to line it up with the side. Scrape this paper off. I need this to show me the bottom. So people are going to know. Somebody's going to notice this, I'm sure. But it's okay. You'll have to look closely. And I think it still made it better by scooching the little quotation marks in a little bit. All right, so now I'm going to journal. I think I'm going to just journal down here in this little section right here. I mean, it probably needs something else. Oh, I got the birdhouses. All right, let me journal first and then we'll figure out some stickers. All right, so I just said another fun stop along the trek is the bird room. It has a mesh roof and chains hanging in the doorway so the birds can escape. Then I said, Katie said, I'm really good at identifying birds. So Michelle tested her by pointing at one and saying, okay, what's that one? To which Katie replied, yep, that's definitely a bird. And then I wrote over here, I'm really good at identifying birds has now become a family catchphrase. I should say something about, sorry, I can't identify any of these actual birds. So now I just need to decide if I'm going to do any kind of embellishment. It's already pretty busy, but I have these stickers, and what on earth am I ever going to use them for if not for this layout. So I definitely would like to use the bird house. Of course, it's got that tiny bird, and if I want to use one of these little birds, that's going to be, size-wise, that's a bit of a, it doesn't really go. But I like that right there. And maybe that's, I don't know. I hate to put this right here. Put it down here. All right, so now I need something up here. But none of these. I could do birds of a feather flock together right on here. So I find myself really kind of stuck on this whole, rule of 3 thing, even though I don't think that it's totally necessary. I still feel the need to do it. I don't mind this circle. I just don't. I don't know that I like the saying on it, but I think that's good. I need to stick this guy down where I ripped it up. So here's the spot where I had to make the little correction. I mean, you can definitely see it, but I just don't think that anybody, I'll put a little repo on here. That'll keep it stuck down. I don't think that anybody's really going to notice that. I mean, you'd really have to be, you'd have to be looking for it to see that there. So I think that I'm done with the bird. It's kind of a bird room more than a bird house. But I wasn't super excited about this one. As you know, I told you that at the beginning. It wasn't, it didn't really grab me. But I think it turned out cute. And I really wanted to save the story, because that totally has become something that we say. And sometimes it's not always about birds. Sometimes we'll be at, the aquarium, and you'll be like, oh, hey, did you know I'm really good at identifying fish or whatever? And that way somebody will say, oh yeah, well, what's that one? Oh, yeah, that's definitely a fish, Anyway, it's funny. I wish I had a bird like flying. I think I'd put him up here, but I don't. There isn't a flying bird. They're all just birds sitting on tree branches. So I kind of do wish I had something up here. I guess I put that guy up there, but I don't think so. I think I'll put this little chirp. That would be cute. It says chirp. I think we're done. It's so hard for me to be done. But I like it. I like that I use this bird paper that I never thought I would use. I like the orange and the blue together. I love that I had this piece that was just made a perfect mat. And I don't know that it really looks that much like my inspiration layout from Pinterest, but that's okay, because it was just a starting point, just to get me kind of going in the direction that I wanted to go. So what are we on? Week 43? Week 43, and then next week we get to, I just told you. Oh yeah, the kite show. So remind me to bring the kite punch home from my studio so that I can use that for next week's video. So I'll see you then. I think we have Savvy Scrapbookers in between. No, what else? I think Savvy Scrapbookers is next week. I don't know. My weeks are all mixed up. Whenever the second Wednesday is, will be Savvy Scrapbookers. I think that's next week. That is next week. And so then I'll be here on Wednesday with Savvy Scrapbookers, and Thursday with another edition of Theme Park Thursday. Thanks so much for watching, and happy scrapbooking.